installment of Lesson 3, the unit circle, is actually going to be kind of a review of geometry. We're going to look at how we got the sine and the cosine values. We know, we're told that I have a unit circle and the radius is 1. Now, if this is a 45-degree angle, and remember that 45 degrees is the same thing as pi over 4 radians, so it doesn't matter which one we're talking about. If it's a 45-degree angle, then this side is the same as this side. We have an isosceles triangle. These are things that you should be recalling from geometry. That said, if I let this side be x, this side I know is y, but, oops, let's see if I can write and speak here. Because this is an isosceles triangle, x is equal to y. They're the same. So now I can use the Pythagorean theorem to state that x squared plus y squared is equal to 1. But since x and y are the same, I can say that x squared plus x squared is equal to 1. That gives me 2x squared is equal to 1. I combine my like terms. Now dividing both sides by 2, x squared is equal to 1/2. Since I'm in the first quadrant and everything is positive, I'm going to use a positive root. So x is equal to the square root of 1/2, which is the square root of 1 over the square root of 2, which becomes 1 over the square root of 2. Well, here the only problem is I can't have a radical in the denominator, so I must rationalize. Rationalize means I have to multiply by some form of 1 so that I remove the radical from the denominator. The square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is 2. 1 times the square root of 2 is the square root of 2. So that's how I get x. X is equal to the square root of 2, but since x is equal to y, then y is also equal to root 2 over 2. That is how we got, these values here and here because of this. Okay? So we took care of our 45-degree angle. Now we're going to do our 30 and our 60 together. And oh, by the way, square root of 2 over 2 over square root of 2 over 2 is just 1. So we've proven how we got those values. Now let's go on to a 30, 60, 90. And to save a little bit of time in the video, what I've done is I've said that this is an equilateral, equilateral, if I can spell and write and everything, equilateral triangle. That means the three sides are all the same and the angles are all the same. Well, if the angles are all the same, 180 degrees divided by 3 is equal to 60 degrees. So every angle is 60 degrees. But if I come along and I bisect one of the angles, so now I have two 30, 60, 90 triangles. All right, so here I've got two of these. So I'm really just going to look at one of them. I have an x value, and then the height here is y. Okay, if I'm looking at my circle. Now, my hypotenuse is 1. My x, this whole thing here, okay, from here to here was 1 because it's an equilateral triangle. So therefore, x must be equal to 1/2. Using again the Pythagorean theorem, I know that 1 squared will be equal to x squared plus y squared. I figured out that x is 1/2. And y over here, did I just make this 1 instead of 1 squared? Oh, because I know that 1 squared is just 1. So I'm simplifying it. 1/2 quantity squared is 1/4. So 1 is equal to 1/4 plus y squared. Subtract 1/4 from both sides, and I get 3/4 is equal to y squared. To figure out what y is, I have to take the square root of both sides. And since I'm trying to find this height, it's going to be positive. So I'm going to go the square root of 3/4. Well, I can't get the square root of 3 as a nice number, so I'll just leave it as radical 3. But the square root of 4 is 2. So, if this angle is 60, x is 1/2, y is root 3 over 2. But now what happens if I do this guy and I've got 30 here? Well, then all of a sudden this becomes 1/2 and this becomes root 3 over 2. So if we go back a couple of pages here, notice if it's 30, the y value is 1/2 and the x value is root 3 over 2. If it's a 60 degree, it's just the reverse with the root 3 over 2 and the 1/2. Okay, so here's this and this. Notice the x and the y's just swap places depending on whether you're looking at a 30 degree or a 60 degree. Right? And when you find the tangent, when the 1/2 is on top and the 30 degree or the pi over 6, it's 1 over root 3. You have to multiply by a form of 1, which is root 3 over root 3, in order to get root 3 over 3. This guy's a little nicer. Your 2's cancel, and you just have root 3. So that takes care of your 30, your 45, and your 60, or your pi over 6, pi over 4, pi over 3. And where did those numbers come from? They're not numbers that just poof, came out of the air. They're numbers that are founded on solid mathematical principles using the Pythagorean Theorem and things that we already know. Now, the quadrantal angles, 90, 180, 270, those simply use what is x, what is y. We talked about it, if this radius is 1, then this point has got to be 1, 0. The radius is 1, this is 0, 1. The radius is 1, this is negative 1, 0. Down here is 0, negative 1. Okay, you don't really draw triangles per se, but think of it that way. So that should be your ability to finish not only filling out this table, but to understand where all of the numbers came from. Okay, so that's where all the numbers came from. That's it for part B of this lesson.